So I was on the internet this weekend on Facebook, scrolling through, doom scrolling some people call it, but I actually think it's quite productive for me because it gives me a lot of ideas to talk about here on the F1 Chronicle and on the other chronicles as well, for that matter. And an interesting graphic that I saw come up on one of the Facebook Formula 1 groups that I'm in is just basically going over all of the drivers on the 2025 grid, so all 20 confirmed drivers for next season and their ages, and they're really young in general. I mean, obviously, there are outliers there. Fernando Alonso's over 40. Lewis Hamilton will begin the season at 40 years of age. But the grid overall is really, really young. And I just want to go through this because this really does show that Formula 1 right now, its future is looking really, really bright. There's some superb young talents in there. Some new rookies that are coming in 2025, obviously, but some proven talents and some drivers that have been very, very successful and are surprisingly still very young. I mean, let's just get the elephant out of the room here, you know, the elephant in the room, out of the room. Let's just take it out of the room. Let's walk it out there. I mean, Fernando Alonso and Sir Lewis Hamilton, and in truth, Nico Hülkenberg, who is 37, they are the outliers in all that. They can, you know, they are on the podium of the elderly podium, the old podium, let's just call it. You know, 43, 40 Hamilton will be at the start of the season, and Hülkenberg at 37. But the fourth oldest driver in Formula 1. Now, this took me by surprise. I thought he was actually younger than me, but no, he's a little older as it turns out. Who is the fourth oldest driver in Formula 1 next year? I'll give you a second to guess. Tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. It's Carlos Sainz. Carlos Sainz is 30 years of age, and he's the fourth oldest Formula 1 driver next season. That is, I can't believe that. I mean, that makes me feel old for a start. I'll be 30 this year, but I can't believe that he's the fourth oldest driver. Carlito, it's unbelievable. And then you have to go next up to Esteban Ocon, Alex Albon, and Pierre Gasly at 28 years of age. I mean, the youth in Formula 1. After a few years of the grid being very static, I mean, the grid was literally the exact same lineup in 24 at the start of the season when compared to 23 at the end. Nothing changed. And with that, we had a lot of drivers who were just kind of sticking around and, in some people's eyes, taking up seats that they shouldn't have been. I mean, we've had some older drivers such as Valtteri Bottas and Sergio Perez leave us, so it shouldn't be a surprise that we've got this influx of youth like this. I mean, this is incredible. We've got two teenagers on the grid next season, Ollie Behrman and Kimi Antonelli at 19 and 18 years of age respectively. Two more rookies, Hadjar and Bortoletto are 20, Jack Doohan is 21, Lawson is 22, and you know, that's over a quarter of the grid right there. You know, a quarter of the grid is 21 or younger. Only one of those guys can drink legally in the United States. That shows how young these guys are, and even some of the more experienced drivers. I mean, four-time Formula 1 world champion Max Verstappen is only 27, so is Charles Leclerc. Lance Stroll is 26, probably the less said about him the better. But, you know, McLaren's constructors winning drivers, like I said, when they did that this season just gone, they're younger. They weren't born when McLaren won the constructors previously in 98. Lando Norris was born in 1999. He's 25. He'll be 26 at the end of the season. Oscar Piastri is only 23 years of age. You know, there's some real youth in here, and you think about the drivers at the top right in terms of their age. You know, Alonso's over 40, Hamilton's 40, he's going to be 42, 43 before he retires at least. Hülkenberg, he's going to keep racing until he's nearly 40 in Formula 1, and, you know, he's got a contract for a couple of years with Sauber/Audi. These guys that are young, as long as they can, you know, keep performing, as long as they, in some cases, have the financial backing or the literal backing of the board, I think you know who I'm talking about with that one. You know, there's no reason why a lot of these guys, even up to Max Verstappen, which I don't think Max Verstappen will. I think Max Verstappen will probably leave Formula 1 before he's 35 with the way he's talking about it, to be honest. But, you know, you look at these guys and it's like, even Carlos Sainz, right, in fourth place, you could make an argument to say that they're going to spend at least another 10 years in Formula 1. You could argue the likes of Albon and Gasly, they could maybe, if they wanted to and they were still performing, 15 years. They'd be the same age as Alonso is now in 15 years' time, in 2040. How freaky is that? How freaky is that to think about? 2040, the distant future. My goodness me. But, you know, even Lando Norris, in 15 years' time, he'll be 40 years of age. If he wants to keep racing in Formula 1, and he's good enough at that age, which he might well be with all the training regimen and the diet and the good practices they now have in Formula 1 and the safety aspect of it as well. why not? So, this grid, honestly, the future is extremely bright, and I think it's something that needs to be highlighted, really, the ages of these guys. I mean, shout out to Paddock Passion for making this graphic. Incredible stuff, really. I believe they're the Facebook group that I got this from. So, yeah, unbelievable stuff, really, and it does really highlight how bright the future is for Formula 1 on a driver front, for sure. On the team and the race front, we'll discuss that another time, maybe. It's not quite as clear-cut, but on a driver front, right now, these guys are incredible, and they're so young. A lot of these guys, I mean, you think about what Formula 1 drivers used to, the kind of ages they used to make their debuts in, likes of Ayrton Senna, he was in his mid-20s nearly when he made his debut. Same with the likes of Alan Prost back in the day. These guys have got, in some cases, coming up to 10 seasons under the belt by the time they're 30. Carlos Sainz is going to be in his 11th season in Formula 1 this year coming up. He's made his debut in 2015. Same with Verstappen. Stroll's not that far behind either. I think he'll be in his, 9th season coming up. 2017 he made his debut, I believe. So yeah, unbelievable stuff. Which driver are you looking forward to see the most? A lot of exciting rookies in that field. And of course, for much more Formula 1 content, do keep it tuned here to the F1Chronicle.com. Like, share, comment, subscribe, ring the bell as well. And we'll see you very soon, guys. Have a good one.